glad you could find time to join me. This is The Point, and my name is Mira Mugutu. My guest today is an aspirant for the Member of Parliament, EMBAKASI South, Professor Jared Onyari. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today. So what is your motivation in wanting to be the next Member of Parliament for EMBAKASI South?
Yes, in Kenya, our constitution requires that after 5 years we go for an election because we are a democratic nation. And after 5 years, people have to offer themselves so that they can be considered to be elected to that office. I understand what a member of parliament does, is to represent people, is to registrate, and to have an oversight role. If I get the opportunity to do that, I will be able to represent the people of EMBAKASI South so that I can be able to represent and address some of the challenges and the problems they are facing with.
Mm-hmm. So, what are some of the areas that constitutes EMBAKASI South?
EMBAKASI is composed of 5 wards. That is the Pipeline, Kware Ward, Kwanjenga, Mkuru and the Maradaima.
All right. So those are very different locations. And of course, let me take, say, Mkuru Kwanjenga and this other place, Imaradaima. So those are very two parallel areas. So of course, you'll need like a tailor-made solution to each and every area. They all have their needs, which could be different. So how do you intend to have you done your research? Have you walked in the wards? And what are some of the urgent needs that needs to be addressed by the next leader? And what are some of the tailor-made solutions you think you can offer to these areas?
What I will do as a member of parliament is to represent those 2 wards with their unique problems. The Maradaima is inhabited by people who are affluent, you can say, middle class, yeah. But when you go to Mukuru, Wanjenga, and Kwaruben, there are those people who are in the slums.
The low income area.
And the programs which I have for Mukuru, Wanjenga, and Kwaruben, and those who are doing the slums is to address the issues of water and sanitation. When you go to those places, even the sewerage is a problem and the water is a problem. We'll be able to address the infrastructure. Infrastructure means that the roads are impassable and it is totally in a mess when it rains. We'll be able to address the issue about education, and when you talk about the people of the slums. The only thing which can be able to change their lives is to maybe to address and invest in education, because education transforms. So
when you say you address and invest in education, does it mean they don't have enough schools, or what do you mean by that?
Yeah, they don't have enough schools, and what I have in mind is that I will want to have a model school whereby those residents from the place who cannot be able to take their students into high-cost schools, that they can be able to access education. And when I talk also about the education, what I have in mind is that there are no better schools and even better facilities. And I have said that through education is what changes a society. And this is what can be able to give them hope. So we will work when it comes to the issue which has been a problem is when it comes to the issue of the bursary. It is not evenly distributed, and there's a lot of corruption when it comes to giving it out. So if the bursary which we get from the national government, if it's well used and well distributed with the fairness, it can be able to address education.
Okay. So, of course, a lot of informal settlements or slum areas, as they're known, there are a lot of informal schools that the government at some point abolished, but they're still in existence. So what do you intend to do with such institutions? Will you upgrade them? Will you abolish them and maybe enhance what is there, the government schools? So how do you intend to handle that?
Yeah, it is unfortunate that the government take that direction, because when you abolish the informal school, there are no schools in this area. What are you telling the residents of these children? You are condemning for them. So what we need is to work in partnership. And in areas where they have not done it well, we capacity them. So taking a decision that you are doing away with them and there is no alternative, I feel as a member of parliament who is going to represent my people, I can't stomach that, but we rather work in partnership.
Okay, with the schools and maybe...
with the owners of the schools.
Okay. So, of course, you come from an education background because you're a professor. How would you rate the free primary education? Is it even still in existence?
Well, it is a good idea because it gave so many children an opportunity to go to school. With its teaching problem, when it comes to teachers, there's been a problem. We don't have enough teachers. But to me, with its teaching problem, it has given the children of Kenya, and especially from EMBAKASI South, an opportunity to at least see a class. So it is also a good thing which needs to be supported and see how best it can be addressed.
Yeah, but do you think it's a success, or how the quality that is coming from this education right now, the free primary education, the quality that the kids are getting?
In terms of quality, question. But giving the children of EMBAKASI South and the children of Kenya an opportunity to go to school, an excellent. So the government should move forward to address quality now that it has addressed quantity.
The quantity.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you intend to do that in your ward? How do you intend to advocate for the quality in the schools in EMBAKASI South?
When you see both sides, that is the Jubilee and NASA, they are talking about the education is supposed to be free from primary, from kindergarten all the way to secondary, to Form 4. So it means that we have to put more resources in the education sector. And these resources that we use must also see those areas which are disadvantaged, like the places I'm intending to go and represent. So with more resources, we can be able to have facilities and have enough teachers to address this.
Okay. Just the last one before we move to the next point. Of course, you've brought in Jubilee and NASA, and they're all, right now they're campaigning, and one of their agendas both is they want a free high school education starting next year for the Kenyan children. Do you think it's a very ambitious and a lofty goal, or is it achievable in the current situation that we have economically?
Achievable? No.
Okay, so it's not realistic.
It's not realistic, but other countries have done it in the world. So them giving that commitment, whether achievable or not achievable, that is the way to go.
It's a good start.
It's a good start.
But it might not happen next year. But they're not saying that.
Of course, they're saying to get votes. But I coming from educational background. That is the way to go. Whether we are going to have it in September, have it in January, but even in the future, but that is the way to go, that we should be able to make education free and affordable to all children.
And of course, we have to commend the now government. I think the students are not paying for the examination fee right now, so I think that has been a burden lifted off a lot of parents who could not afford, because it had become very expensive, especially for the high school KCSE.
I agree with you.
Yeah, so that is something we commend the government for. So you are in Maendeleo Development Party. What does your party stand for? What are the ideals of your party?
Even by the name itself, it is Maendeleo in Swahili.
But we also have Maendeleo Chap Chap. So what is the difference?
The difference, the other one is Chap Chap, but this one is Maendeleo Democratic Party. We believe in democracy.
Okay.
And democracy must go together with the development. And when you talk about development, is to see that there is fairness and equitable distribution of resources. That's what my party advocates for. And if there is equitable distribution of resources, then you cannot be having people gambling. The other part you are talking about, that there is Chap Chap, I don't know what it is, whether they want to do things very quickly, but the things should go to a progressive way. But what we want to say with us is we stand for development as a party, and we practice democracy.
Okay. So does your party align with, of course you don't, do you have a presidential candidate in your party?
We don't.
So do you align with any of the political divides, the Jubilee or NASA?
The wisdom of the party is that we will enter into a coalition with whoever makes takes the government. So
you're keeping your cards close to your chest.
But I, as a candidate, I really want to get associated with the party or the coalition which want to transform this country.
So Kenyans will have to guess that for themselves.
I have no apology to make.
Okay.
I'm sympathetic and I do support NASA.
All right, so he's made it very clear. So what is your agenda for the youth?
My agenda for the youth, I have put it together with women.
But why? I'm curious, they're always together with the women.
I will be able to
explain.
What I want to do is that I want seriously to empower young people and women. They are the energetic workforce in our country. And if the country has to develop, and the way I said my party stands for development, these young people must be given the opportunity. And one of these things I've said that you may find some of these youth have reached standard 8, Form 4, and they have not been able to move into the next level. So what I want to do is that I will ensure that those who want to pursue their careers, that we can be able to work. There are resources, both from the national government and the county government. There is a ways of fund. And what I want to say is that some of the resources in this country is that they are misused. They are not properly put into proper use. So as a member of parliament, the resources which will come to me in terms of ways of fund, I will be able to empower the young people. And you have rightly asked me that why is it that the youth
and women,
and the women go together?
Yeah.
Is that women have got a special role to play in a society. They are the engines of the economic development of any society.
I agree. I agree.
So when you need to see if they are the engine and the backbone of the economy of the country, these people need to be capacitated and be empowered so that they can be able to do more.
Okay. That's very, very, very important that you mentioned that. So, of course, Kenyans were hoping that with the new constitution, devolution was going to solve a lot of these problems of rural-urban migration, unemployment, and things like that. Is devolution working for Kenyans so far?
So far, yes. So far, no.
Okay. Those
governors who have used their funds they have received from the national government, we have seen them trying to do something. Devolution has worked elsewhere in the world, in countries like Nigeria and elsewhere. It has worked. And even the countries which started devolution for the first time, they did not got it right. Nigeria, almost half of their governors went to jail during the first term. So what we want to say that devolution is here with us is a good idea because we are moving from the center to the grassroots.
So maybe we need to give it more time.
We need to give it more time.
Like how much time?
But what we want to say is that you don't need more time. The resources you get from the national government to go and develop the grassroots, to go and develop your people, let it go to the youth. That's what we are trying to say.
So Kenyans are supposed to be benefiting right now from the fruits of the new constitution.
Correct.
But they're not.
And what we need to do that the funds they are getting from the national government towards devolution is that almost half of it goes into payment of salaries and expenditures. There are very little amount of money is left for development. And that's why I say that I support the divide, which say that is going to enhance it from 15% into 45%. What we want to say that if this money will be taken to the grassroots, we will be taken to the counties and the governors and the members of the county assembly want to change their respective counties. Believe me or not, there will be a positive change.
Okay. So you just mentioned the big wage bill when it comes to paying the public servants. And the other day we saw SRC Chair Sarah Serem announce a new paycheck, for the top public servants, and no allowances, no mileage. Like it's different now. So, and she says it's going to save a country in excess of 8 billion Kenya shillings. Will that make a difference when injected back to the Kenyan economy?
Yeah, it will. And They are supposed to do more than that, to cut more than that.
So they're supposed to cut more than that.
When we want to go to these offices, we are not going to enrich ourselves. We want to,
public service.
To go and serve people. And even you can look at the members of parliament of 1970s, 1960s, and even the 80s, those people went to serve the people.
But you'll argue life then was not as difficult as it is right now.
Yes, that's my personal, that's how I feel.
That is the argument they say in parliament.
That's what they said, but when you compare ourselves,
to the rest of the world.
We are not living in isolation. We are living in the world, and you can be able to see even what happens in the region. The kind of salaries which is being to members of parliament, even senators and governors, and even the MCS, if we go this way as a country, we're not going in the right direction. So that is good, because as a member of parliament, I know what I'm going to earn. So the Salary and Remuneration Commission has done an excellent job. Okay.
So they need to cut more?
They need to cut more. This one now, the next one, they will be able to do something.
Okay.
And if you are talking about why the members of parliament asked for more money, it is because they are reduced their constraints into paupers to depend on handouts. So if we have fixed more money to go to the counties, and more schools are going to be built, more roads are going to be done, then it will be the work of member of parliament will be left to registrate, to represent people, and to oversight.
Okay. All right. So a lot of leaders sometimes, when you go to the estates and when they think about empowering the young people and offering employment, they'll just give them maybe a car wash somewhere or dig trenches somewhere, not proper long-term solutions for the problem of unemployment. What is your alternative solution, or will you come with it? Car wash.
Did I hear you saying that you go and take to them the car wash?
That's what most people will do.
Yeah,
like
that's not the way.
So what is your alternative?
When you want to empower people, is that you need to understand them. What do they want to do? And you help them achieve what they want to do. If those who want to do the car washing business, that's what they want to do, empower them to do that. But don't imagine that the easiest thing you can be able to do for them is car wash. What I need to do, like, I was going around my ward, and I found one about the young person, and he sells eggs. And I got curious, and I was asking him, how many trays of the eggs do you sell in a day? And he said 2, and he has got a capacity to sell 4. And he's having the stock of what? Of 2 of them. Then I said, I'm not going to give you the next 2, but I will empower with you with 1. And I will be keenly watching this kind of youth. So if I empower I see this person to realize his full stock, then this is what you talk about empowering. Okay. So you go to the people and find out what they want to do. Okay. What the youth want to do. Okay. So there are those ones who are taking for them to the car wash, and what they want to do is to pursue education, maybe to go to middle-level colleges. So let the people
tailor-made solutions. All right. So how would you describe your leadership skills?
One of the things I've said that I want to have inclusive leadership. I want to have leadership with the people, listen to the people, and not to dictate over them. I don't have much as a leader, which I'm going to say that let us do this. I am a leader. I am one of them. But most of them that to assist them give the direction. So I will have inclusive leadership so that all of us are leaders, so that we don't exclude anybody else. Okay. Yeah. So by inclusiveness, you mean listening to, like you mentioned, listening to what they want and engaging them, and maybe the community to be part of the solutions. That's correct. Okay. If you want to change people, people have got answers and solutions to what is facing them. Okay. What you only need to do them is to package and say this is the direction, so that you can be able to go there. And you have said that what kind of leader? I am a transformational leader. I believe in changing people. I believe in transforming people so that people don't remain the same. All right. Okay. So there have been arguments, and a lot of times you read in the social media and things like that, and the Kenyan citizenry sometimes will complain, in Kenya we don't have leaders. What we have are people who are just there for selfish gains and things like that. So in your own words, what is leadership? In my own words, Leadership is to be able to give people direction. You're able to listen to the people, and then be able to practice the proper governance. And in essence, what we need to do is on how do you manage resources and how you manage people. Mm-hmm. That's what I sum it to call it leadership. Mm-hmm. And why I say you have rightly told me Kenyans complain. In fact, what you see in our leaders is the society you see. Mm-hmm. What you want to see that when we are now in the campaign trail. Mm-hmm. Hardly can you go and talk to the people and then you tell them this is what I do, and after finishing, they don't ask you for something small. So when they enter praise, those people can be able to pay more. And when he becomes a leader, you think he's going to serve the people? He will not serve the people. That's the problem we have, because people have been made so poor, so vulnerable, that they are not having the free will to choose their own leaders. So when they choose, when this kind of people masquerade that they are going to represent them and they're not going to represent for them, that's how Kenya becomes disillusioned. To say that even if you choose this one, you'll be just like the other one. But what I'm trying to say that don't judge me because others have done that one. Mm-hmm. There are leaders who are good and there are leaders who are bad.
So one should be judged on their own merit.
On one merit.
Okay.
And if I want to say that I've been so much impressed with some of the past members, like you see Engineer Karu who came with CDF. Mm-hmm. That's a wonderful member of parliament. Mm-hmm. The nominated member of parliament in Jokindungu, she came with the sex offences bill. Mm-hmm. Very recent, the member is it for the Limuru who came with the interests that need to be capped. Yeah. So that is what a member of parliament need to do. Mm-hmm. When you need to be a member of parliament, you go to register to make good laws. And if you make good laws, it will be able to transform the lives of the people.
Okay. So that to you is good leadership.
Yeah, that's what we believe. If you make good laws and if you believe in democracy, mm-hmm. and our constitution these days refers that whatever we do, let us allow people and consult people to participate. Mm-hmm. So if you walk around with the people, they will be able to say that we need to come up with this kind of registration. Mm-hmm. And a country or a nation is built or developed by the kind of laws it makes. Like we have talked about our constitution, it is progress. It is a very progressive constitution. And for those who have become readers and they don't want to do what the constitution says, mm-hmm. history is there to charge them. Mm-hmm. But we have got a good constitution. What we need to do is to register and come with the laws to domesticate and implement that constitution. So,
Professor Jared Onyari, what is your vision for the EMBAKASI South constituency?
Yeah, my vision for EMBAKASI South is that I want to make it a model constituency. A model constituency in the terms that I want the rest of the world, the rest of other constituents and members of parliament to come and see.
The rest of the 46 are
the 289 constituencies to come and see what it means to make a constituency, a model constituency. Okay. Why do I want to say that? I want to address education. And the only way I can be able to transform the lives of those people in the slums, it is to invest in education. And I am appealing to them. I say that in the next 20 years, if you give birth to a child up to 23 years, this child has gotten a very good education, it will be able to transform your lives from the slums. So I will be able to address education. Education, I've said that I will come with a model school. And the bursaries, which is being given before the free secondary education comes in, it must be distributed equally, fairness, without discrimination, without what the members of parliament do now, they give it to their cronies. Like now, it's very pathetic that when you come to EMBAKASI South, the current member of parliament cannot show what he has done with more than 500 million he has gotten from the national government. So I will address education. The next agenda, what I will do, I will address health. For the last few days, we have had some fires coming in and burning the houses. The nearest hospitals, the nearest hospital is Shalom, it is in Athi River. And when you go to this place...
Wait, Shalom in Athi River, from where?
From Kuruanchanga. That's the nearest hospital where these people can be able to access. It is on the junction between Kitengela and Mombasa Road. So what I want to do is that when I want to talk about the earth, there's an earth center we want to develop it and even have a resident doctor who can be able to attend people's emergencies. It is the other day, it was quite unfortunate that also one of the families, their child got burnt. And the family did not have money. And in fact, that child was dying. So what I want to do, I want to address the health of the people that we have health facilities. And more now that we have the county government, the people of Bekasi South and residents of Nairobi want to see the county government having some programs because health is a devolved function. But what I want to do as a member of parliament, I want to closely work with the county government to address the health issues. Point number 3, I've talked about water and sanitation. When you come to Mukuru Wanjenga, you come to Imaradaima, you come to Kwaruben, you come to Kware, there's no sewer. People are still using pit latrines in the city. Where does it happen?
In Nairobi?
In Nairobi and not another models. So we want to address that because why do I want to talk about water? Most of the diseases comes out of water. So what we want to do is, of course, water is there, but is it safe? And it is clean, but is it safe for people to drink?
And is it accessible?
And is it accessible? Because when it
and
comes
is it
to,
available even sometimes?
Sometimes I don't want to go that one, but I want to fix it when I become a member of parliament. Is that the people of Mukuru Wanjenga, the people of Bekasi South, they are heavily using a lot of money in buying water. A jerrycan goes 10, 20 or 30.
Oh wow, that's expensive.
The life,
that is expensive.
And the standards of things of that kind of, that's very expensive. So I will be able to also address that. I've said that I will want to work very closely with the youth and empower them so that they can be able to realize their potentials. I want to say that I want to make their dreams to be varied. They can be what they want to become in life, if only they can be supported. I've also said that we also want to come with a talent center. A talent center is that there are some people there who may be having some talent, but where do you get them? Do we have a talent center in this city? So that if you want some musicians, you want some entertainers, want some comedians, we want those people who want to do sports, where can you get them? So I want to say that for all my time as a member of parliament for Bekasi South for 5 years, I will be able to come with a talent center. Then I've talked also about infrastructure. Infrastructure is a problem. Still, this is the place in this city whereby we still have roads which are inaccessible, where we will closely work with the county government and from the national government to say that the informal settlement is properly planned. The inroads are properly done. And that's exactly that. And what I've also said that I will be able to have inclusive leadership. I want to govern with the people. How do I want to talk about inclusive leadership? Is to bring everybody on board so that you can be able to listen to the people. Be it women, be it young people, be it men, be it even children. That's what I mean by inclusive, and that's what I'm looking forward and appealing to the people in Bekasi South that they consider me for that opportunity. I will never let them down. I personally, I have come from a very poor background to fight all the way to where I am. And when I talk about education, I have seen what education has done to me and has done to so many other people. So you are an expert, just before we wind up, you're an expert in environment impact assessment. Tell us about that. It is unfortunate. As I hear a person is that some of the development which takes place in this country, we don't do environmental impact assessment. What are this kind of development? What impact is it going to have to the society or the environment? How are the impacts going to be mitigated? So as an expert which have come around, people want to do development, but they don't want to mitigate about it. And NEMA, the National Environment Management Authority, one is underfunded. Two, they don't have enough resource to be doing this. So as an expert in this area, this is one of the things I go around, and when I just look at that, was the environmental impact assessment done? Were people involved? So I am very passionate about the environment, that if we need to do development here is, let us try to see what kind of impact this will be able to cause to the SAD. And I'm a firm believer also about sustainable development goals, because Kenya and the entire world, we have given a commitment for the next 30 years, up until 2030, that this is the way to go. We need to take care of the environment. And I want to quote Professor Onyari Matai. If we don't take care of the environment, nature sometimes can be unkind, sometimes it can be massive, sometimes it can destroy us. So we need to take care of the environment.
Okay. So you're running now for Member of Parliament, and all these things you're doing, you seem to be very busy. How does your teaching schedule find its way here? How does it work around it? Because you are a professor.
I teach development in university. And I've been doing theory. And what I said when I opened my remark is that I want to make that continuous being a model. That when you come to talk about development issues, how do you do it? So what I want to do is that I teach part-time. I'm not a full-time.
Oh, you teach part-time. So that works.
And that is something I would even want to continue to do it, because that's one way you can be able to change a search. But I want to see now the theories I teach in class, I want to put in practicals.
All right. Okay, Professor Jared Onyari, it was great to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
And all the best in your campaigns and your endeavors. Okay. And of course, the residents of EMBAKASI South, they're the ones with the power. So hopefully, those who are listening, if they love your agenda, if they love your manifesto and your vision and how you want EMBAKASI South to be the model constituency in Kenya, then you know what? They have the power, and you have appealed to them. So hopefully, they've had your appeal.
Thank you.
Otherwise, all the best. This has been The Point. I am Miriam Magutu, and until next time, thank you for watching.